I'll record this and we'll get started. So thank you everybody who could make it today. If you're interested in what you can do with the LWW Osteopathic Health Library collection that we have access to, again, for those who weren't able to make today, this will be recorded and it'll be hosted on the research guide with all of our other sort of brief team sessions with how to do different things. I want to show you, a couple of different places you can find the LWW Health Library. So if you go to the medical library page, which is liberty.edu/lucom/library, and down here, these drop downs under databases, you'll find a link that says LWW. So you can use that link. That will take you directly to the resource. We also have a research guide that I showed last week where we have organized all your electronic resources, and that takes you to this LibGuide or research guide, and you'll find LWW Health Library under featured resources, and you can also find it under the A to Z database list. It's alphabetical, so LWW will be right down there. So clicking any of these links will take you to the LWW Health Library Medical Education, and you'll see there's a couple things across a menu bar at the top. There's a couple things you can browse down here. One of the main things I want to show you is the texts that are available, and this might be somewhat familiar from last week when I was showing where you can find a lot of your required textbooks as ebooks. But if you click on text here or that icon down there, you'll see there's different categories. So we have ebooks here in anatomy, embryology, histology, neuroscience, and this osteopathic medicine is actually an additional facet that we purchased to have in our health library. So some of these you aren't quite using yet if you're a first-year student, but I know you're going to be using Moore's Clinically Oriented Anatomy is here. We have the past couple editions of Grant's Dissector and Grant's Atlas of Anatomy. There's some of these other texts that you'll use, your Neuroanatomy Atlas, but I just want to show you as an example some of the things you can find in these resources. So if I were to go into, say, Moore's Clinically Oriented Anatomy, it'll take a second, and you'll see it's just organized as a digital textbook, but there are these tabs up here I wanted to point out. They've got associated images from this text, so if you're not sure, you found a particular illustration or something you wanted, you can actually click on this. There's 1,078 images available that are within this textbook, and this just organizes them all in one place so you can search through them. It's taking a while to load, but so you've got overview, back, upper limb. There's more here, and it organizes them that way. There's videos within this resource. There's only one in clinically oriented anatomy, but there's also some video and audio. What I really want to show you is the video and audio that's in the osteopathic collection, because I know you guys are going to have OMM, if you're a first-year student especially. There's procedure videos. There's also anatomy videos available too. So if I were to go back to the main page here, so this is where the different types of texts that are available. There's all these anatomy texts. Some of these are your required textbooks. You will be using some of these others, but I really wanted to point out your osteopathic medicine health library, and you'll find a lot of your required OMM textbooks, your Atlas of Osteopathic Techniques, Foundations of Osteopathic Medicine, Osteopathic Approach to Diagnosis and Treatment. These are all books that you're going to be familiar with. It's got the previous editions of some of these. Those won't stay there indefinitely. Eventually they'll come off. I'm actually kind of surprised that like the third edition of the Fawn book is still there, or that the third edition of Osteopathic Approach is still there. But if I, for example, were to look in my Foundations of Osteopathic Medicine textbook, there's 1,170 images available in here. There's, well, I thought there was some video. Maybe that was in the Osteopathic Approach to Diagnosis. No, there's only 631 images. I know there are some OMM videos available in this resource. It might be a different way to get to them. But like, for example, if I go back to my texts and my anatomy resource and to Moore's, there was some videos in here, and video and audio. And also across the top here of these menus, you'll see text, video, audio, self-assessment. If you click on video, audio, you'll see they basically have anatomy and osteopathic medicine. This is what I really wanted you to see. They have these, this is all of the videos. So these are anatomy, anterior skull, lateral skull. but you can actually click on just a particular section you want to look for, and you can find videos of dissection or illustrations for anatomy. And this osteopathic medicine, I think this one is pretty cool because, yeah, see, I'm not sure why it didn't show up in the actual text, but you'll see that these are actually coming from an atlas of osteopathic techniques, a lot of these posterior shoulder. And I don't know if I optimized this for audio, so you might not hear the audio of this video, but it's got videos for your OMM. So when you're getting ready to study for your OMM practicals and things, you could use these videos.
Scapular landmarks.
Another thing I wanted to point out is self-assessment. And this is I don't want to like overwhelm you with, you know, if you're a new student, I don't want to overwhelm you with the number of places you can find questions and self-assessments that you can use, but this is just one that's pretty cool. There's all these quizzes that you have access to, and depending on what it is, there's a different number of questions. So you can see there's like first week of development only has 15 questions. I guess this is OB. Back anatomy has 54 questions, but some of these like brains or neuroanatomy has 615 questions, but there's a ton of these. The only thing you have to do to access these is create a free login, and it's just like signing up for a free Gmail account or something. I'm already signed in, so I went right to it, so it shows my name. But if you don't have a login yet, when you look up here on the right, you'll see Liberty University, and you'll see a link that says create a free account, and you can create a username and password and access the resource that way. But once you sign in is when you get access to all these self-assessments. And again, they organize these into anatomy, embryology, neuroanatomy. There's that OMM, and then physical exam and history taking. I guess that'd be for your PCM if you were using that for study. But this is just one. I know you guys have access to like Kaplan. We just had a training thing about how you guys have access to Kaplan for board review. And there's a bunch of different resources that I'll be showing throughout the semester that have self-quizzes, self-assessments. This is just one that I want you to be aware of. Something I'm not really going to go too much into, and it's not even that in depth in this resource, is they have cases. A lot of our resources will have cases that you can study. These are more clinically oriented, so maybe they'd be useful for PCM first and second year. If you're third and fourth year, they might be more useful. But a lot of them are based on anatomy in the way to do incisions, depending for quicker healing time and anatomy, things like that. But that's basically what I want you to see here. Is this is our we actually have another resource here called Clerkship Collection, but this is the LWW Health Library. This is where your texts are, your video and audio, and your self-assessment. You can search topics here, and this is kind of redundant, but it's got text down here, video and audio, and self-assessment down here as well. So this is, and again, I mentioned this I think last week, where if you're looking for ebooks of your required textbooks, if you have a textbook that says Wolters Kluwer or maybe Ovid on it, that's the same company as Lippincott. So those are all the same company. So if you see it, if you have a physical volume of a textbook and you're wondering if we have an ebook of it, you see that Wolters Kluwer stamp on it. Chances are, if we have it, it's going to be in this collection. So, and that's all I really have.
Rob,
sure.
This is Lorianne. I have a quick question. Are there any other case-based, clinical stuff, that's not based on anatomy for OMM?
This same resource that I'm talking about, the LWW, has the clerkship collection, which is clerkship clinical rotations, and those are broken down by specialty. And so you've got pediatrics, family medicine, internal medicine, psychiatry, surgery, and OBGYN, and there's cases in here, but those are more clinical. And they're not just based on anatomy.
Well, but I want specific OMM related cases.
Okay.
Osteopathic content.
Right. I'd have to look into that to see more about what we have. I don't know. I don't think that many of these are like, these are all anatomy. They're not OMM. See, this is not very in depth. This is not. Let me spend a little time digging to see what else we might have that might be useful for you in that.
Perfect. And if any of them come with videos, that sort of thing. There is a book. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I got a free copy actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have to look.
Yeah, I'll get something to you probably by this afternoon. See if I can find something more.
Oh yeah, take your time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining. I'm sorry for the technical hiccup. I'm not really sure what was happening when I first started, but this has been recorded, so it'll be up on the research guide along with all the others. And if you guys have any questions about any of our resources or anything I can help with, please let me know.
Thank you, Rob. Greatly appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rob.